Bamm Ericsen here with AFTERBUZZ TV for Empire Season 3, Episode 13, titled My Naked Villainy. And wow, there's a lot that we are going to discuss. So DJ, drop it.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Flashback.
Don't.
And this is perfect because it's like the foundation of hip-hop's beat.
Yeah.
And since we were doing a little flashback in the episode last night to the early Lucious and Cookie.
That's a great point because this is a hip-hop.
The hip. Yep, they snatched Chic's beat and made it for Rapper's Delight, which is the unofficial, official first hip-hop platinum single.
I never thought about that regarding Chic. You're so right.
Yeah, they snatched that beat. Sylvia Robinson and Sugar was it Sugar Hill? What was there?
And they have a reality show, but
yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
So I'm Bamm Ericsen. You can follow me on all social media at Bamm Ericsen.
I'm Jill Munroe. You can find me everywhere at Stiletto Jill.
Okay, so Hakeem and Empire versus Kennedy Marshall. Okay, so last week we saw what happened with Hakeem's 21st birthday, and these goons decided to be a part and wound up, assaulting the girl. So Kennedy does a press conference with her lawyer announcing that they are suing Empire.
It's not about the money. It's not about the money.
They are suing for $50 million, and they ask that Hakeem stop all his upcoming club appearances and issue an apology. So Lucious, I was thinking we were going to disagree, but I have a feeling that we're going to agree on some stuff. So,
okay.
All right, so Lucious wants to nip this in the bud while he's, bed resting. And then Andre wants to settle while Thurston wants to do some damage control and dig up dirt. So the dirt that Thurston dug up was a lot. Do you think the dirt that he dug up, do you think that made you change your mind about Kennedy and her motive?
I don't think Kennedy had a motive because I don't think that when they were out that night, it was Hakeem's 21st birthday. They were looking to turn up, have a good time, party, drink, smoke, do whatever they do, and get it in. The guy that just came along that night obviously was disrespectful and took that too far. Whatever she's doing, partying, angling, or whatever, she didn't deserve that to happen. So I was, obviously we didn't get the chance to talk about it last week and they mentioned it in the comments, but we had a guest. But I was disgusted with what happened. Nobody wants to see that. There was no cause from that. You never want to see a man just put his hands on a woman for no real reason. So.
Completely wrong.
You disagree with me?
No, meaning the guy was, that whole situation I feel was completely wrong. But, when you say that it's not about the money, it's not about the money. But
it's always about the money.
But you're suing for $50 million, and then you want him to stop all his club appearances where he makes $25,000 probably a club, an appearance. So if you want $50 million, maybe you'll get 20. So you want him to stop making his money, the money that he's going to need in order to pay you?
I think that that's just a tool. I think that is like a tool that lawyers use to try and show we're serious and it's not about the money. It's really about violence against women. When it's really just about the money, it's a cash grab because this unfortunate thing happened to her and now it's like cash out time. Yeah.
Now, the one thing that I will say about her and the guy, I feel they're both opportunists.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't need to go into the list of the goon who hit like he just shows up and he's trying to kick it. Like I feel like they're both opportunists in different ways.
Yeah, exactly.
And I feel like obviously, like I said, he took it too far, but I felt that they were both opportunists. She had pictures of them all together, and I'm not saying that she was leading him on. I'm just saying that.
I think that's a situation of it's cool until it's not. Like if you're chilling and I'm chilling and we're having a good time, I might flick up with you. I don't really have to know you for us to take a flick and it's like, hey, party, party, party. But then if things take a turn to the left, you're being a little too aggressive or you're a little too comfortable because we flicked up and you react like that. That's something totally different. What I just did 10 minutes ago doesn't matter if it wasn't violent. There's no matter what, even if she was kind of flirting and she stopped, you don't put your hands on a woman because of that. So, but I do think that she is taking the situation and her pain and pushing it to the extreme because unfortunately the door was open for that.
So now my real question that I want to ask is, why go after Hakeem? Why not go after the boy who hit you and knocked your ass down?
Because he doesn't have any money.
So therefore, now I need to question your motive. When you go back to the dirt that Thurston was digging up, you know, she's had an incident like that before where she was kicked out of a club because she attacked a guy who was working at the club, but then they were in some type of sexual relationship. So,
but that could be different. That could be, you know,
it is different. But again, if you want to seek justice, Hakeem got beat up too.
He did.
He got beat up too. So why are you going after Hakeem and not the guy who whipped you?
Because the guy that did it doesn't have money, and I guess she felt that Hakeem didn't have her back, maybe right into it. Listen, do I think that Kennedy is wrong? I think she should have tried to go and settle with Hakeem on the low. You know, the $50 million out of control.
Settle for what?
Pain and suffering. Unfortunately, when you are the lead money man in situations like that, that's why they always tell you to watch your crew, watch who you have around. You are responsible for their actions because you're the one with the cash flow. And people are going to find a way to get their pain and suffering taken care of.
Okay. So Hakeem, in the midst of all this, he wants to do what's right. Jamal,
you could tell he felt bad when Thirsty was breaking out with all the drama.
Yeah, and so Jamal checked him about the lyrics and about the victim blaming, kind of making him kind of understand. He and Cookie both kind of made him understand, like, you know, your fan base is women, and then you do all these lyrics about how you are disrespectful to them. So he then went and made this song under Jamal's Ustream page because his is shut down.
Right.
What you think about the song?
I mean, so I kind of was with Andre on this just because we haven't settled the situation legally yet.
Yeah.
So I feel where Hakeem is coming from, but I think that maybe you record that and hold off on releasing that until you kind of settled the situation to make it known, like, listen, I really do understand. I feel for you. I'm a new father. I'm understanding some of the impact of the things that I talk about. I'm learning too in that sort of avenue. I understand, you know, Andre being concerned about the liabilities that can come from that. So,
the song I thought was boo.
I mean, it wasn't the greatest artistically, but its heart was in the right place, you know.
It was corny. I don't feel that he is genuinely sorry.
You don't think so? I thought he looked very remorseful when he was sitting in there and Thirsty kept breaking out with stuff and rolling out the pictures. I think that it touched him.
He felt bad about that, but then when the song, I felt like this was his way of trying to fix things so that he's not to be to blame. I did not like the song. I wasn't feeling it. I did like the beat. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Lil Wayne's How to Love a little bit, but I just thought the song was corny. I just thought it was corny, and just for me to nitpick just a little bit, it annoyed me how Tiana came in at the end while the music, like when you're recording a song, you wait to hear cut first before you go into the studio and then start, you know, this corny. Now, you mentioned something about Andre. So, is Andre really being a jerk, or is he trying to protect Empire?
A little bit of both. A little bit of both. I feel like he has some legitimate concerns, the things that he brings about as a, what is Andre's official position with Empire?
I'm not really sure.
You know, is he president? I don't know. I mean, I know Cookie's like CEO and Lucious, I don't know. Weird
whatever
titling.
he is, I believe he's right below it.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think acting in that position, trying to make sure, you know, the hits that can come in from lawsuits and lost revenue from these different things, I think he is acting in his job position, understanding the ramifications of that. Plus, every once in a while, he likes to remind his brothers, I run the business side of it, and thus I run you.
I don't think that he was being a jerk. I think that sometimes when you are in a position, sometimes you have to do moves that is considered a jerky move because they don't have the business. They don't have the business. My whole thing with this is, Hakeem, if you feel so sorry about this, well then hell, why don't you put up your $50 million? Oh, you don't have $50 million. So you need to sit back, you need to shut up, and you need to let these people do their job because you don't have the money to front. you don't have the money. I don't even know if he even does if he pays his own bills. You know, does he have just an American Express card that's for Empire? Like, how much control does he have over his money?
That's a great question.
So therefore, being that you probably don't pay bills, you've never wrote a check, all you do is charge, you need to shut up and you need to let him understand. They need to make him understand what's going on. Or if you want to take matters into your own hand, although again, I think that she should go after the guy and sue him and take him to jail and do all those things.
No money.
I know, but if you are that serious about the situation, then you need to take his ass to jail. We all have it on camera. We saw.
Right.
But anyway, I'm being petty.
Yeah.
So, but you know, Hakeem should then front the money, and then if you don't have the money, then you need to let your brother do his job.
Well, yeah. Fall back a little, Hakeem, just a little bit.
So, Andre, Nessa, and Juliana.
Whoop.
So, before Andre goes to the board to fix his Hakeem situation, Juliana mentions to Nessa about their arrangements.
And how she would like to come spend some time with them?
Yes, if she can get Nessa's permission. Later in the episode, during the election party, Nessa confronts Andre and says, I do not do arrangements. I hope we're clear. I was bothered by this conversation. That should not have been the end of the conversation. What do you think?
The end of the conversation with Nessa and Andre?
Yes, regarding this.
Well, this is why I think it was the end of the conversation. Because remember, the first thing she mentioned was, I'm not Rhonda.
Yeah.
So she knows that he and Rhonda used to play kind of loose in order to get things to happen.
Yeah.
And I feel like she, with that statement, was just basically letting him know, this is my line. I'm not crossing it. I'm not playing those games with you. I don't think Andre cared about what she had to say, and I don't think his interest was really involving her with Juliana anyway. I think that he is likely going to take that on as his own separate entity without Nessa. But
so then, technically speaking, being that they don't have arrangements,
he'll be cheating.
He'll be cheating, and in his mind, he's okay with that because there's no arrangement where they are doing things together.
Or it's for the benefit of Empire.
Yeah.
You're going to benefit from this because me doing this is helping schmoozing her. You're a brand new artist. You're going to be headlining, with a residency at this club in Vegas. That's big money. That's big thing. That's regular income for the foreseeable future. So it's a good thing for we.
Where do you think this is going? Well, you kind of mentioned that, but how do you think Juliana is going to push up on Andre? Do you think that she's going to walk in? Let
me tell you my thing with Juliana.
Okay.
I like this story, but I feel like in trying to keep this figure so mysterious and what her connection is to Lucious, they're making a lot of it kind of dumb because nobody's asking any questions. They're so thorough and so deep into all these other things. With this one, they're just letting it float and they're just kind of letting her play things. So again, maybe there's something that hasn't been revealed about Lucious. And I mean, not about Lucious. We know Lucious and Juliana have some type of connection, but about Andre and Juliana. But I hate it because it doesn't make sense to me. It's like nobody's saying anything. All these random and weird things come up and nobody has any type of questions. Just kind of doesn't sit right with me. But obviously Juliana is scheme, plot. So you don't know where it could lead. You don't know if she's serious, if she's just trying to lead Andre on to make sure that she secures her position to get to Lucious and she can do whatever she's ultimately trying to do over there. We don't know what her motive is because we don't really know what position she's in today, other than her husband was abusive and they were trying to get money from this club, but we don't know deeper than that.
I thought about that earlier about how come there hasn't been any information they can dig up. But because Andre is kind of doing this by himself, he didn't have Becky, he didn't have Thurston to go and do the
But he has Shine. Andre knows how to figure things out when he needs to.
Yeah.
And he knows how to play the slide money game.
Yeah.
So for whatever reason, he's not interested in delving further. So that to me says you already know something or you're just completely going out of character and being really dumb at this moment.
And also because he is the eldest, he probably possibly remembers Juliana because he wrote a song for her. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're the oldest, you know more.
Right, because you've seen it. You were around, even if you weren't consciously taking a part in it, you're still overhearing conversations or seeing, little things happen. So you pick up on it.
Especially being that he specifically kept Lucious away from her. Interesting.
Yeah.
Andre was ready for Gio's tactic, which I thought was really cool when the guy tried to say he wanted Gio wanted 25 off the top monthly. And he was like, "You're ridiculous."
Right.
And so Shine and his boys come in. So clearly, Shine clearly is taking a back seat, and he's going along with this because he trusts Andre. Maybe because Cookie and Lucious, shunned him away years ago. So this is his payback. But I do like how Shine is falling in line, and I like how Andre is really on top of things
and using Shine in the appropriate manner, because Shine didn't really have to get his hands dirty. He just had to step in there with his goons. It makes him feel good because he does come from a position of power even in that, and he knows he's going to make some money off of it.
So now Lucious is dead set against this whole thing in Vegas. We kind of touched on it just a little bit, but do you have a theory or something as to why he is anti-Vegas?
I mean, Vegas historically has been mob connected. Maybe that's an area he wants to stay away from. Again, we don't know what happened during those 17 years when he was building Empire and Cookie was gone, and who he had to go through, or what challenges they may have faced during that time period. So that could be part of it too. Lucious is still an older guy. He may not see the value in being in Vegas for Empire as an entity.
Yeah. So let's talk about the board meeting.
Which one? The last one? Oh no, I guess they did only have one.
Just one, and Lucious. So going back a little bit, when Andre had to put his foot down with Hakeem, he was like, "I'm going to call a board meeting," and so he's going to call a board meeting. He thinks that Lucious is not going to be there. One of the board members, or possibly Hakeem, probably went and told Daddy about it, and so then they had the board meeting at the house in his bedroom. And I liked how Andre was like, "Oh, it's okay, so I had a motive to do something for Hakeem. Well, you know what, I have something even better." And he was prepared. I love the boardroom scene.
I loved it too, not only because Andre was prepared, but also because he took charge. And even when Lucious tried to come with the power play and fire him, and everybody's like, "No, Jamal." What I was surprised is that Cookie sat there and didn't say a word. She just observed. I like that Andre was prepared for that move from Lucious as well, and knew that he would need another board member to co-sign because of his position with the company, and that he was confident enough that he knew that no one on the board would go along with Lucious.
Well, to answer your question regarding Cookie, I think the reason Cookie didn't say anything is because the numbers don't lie.
Right.
At first she was like, "But we're hip hop," and when he said the obvious thing, J-Lo has residency, Mariah Carey has residency.
It's changing.
I mean, it's completely changing. Justin Bieber had something for us.
I would love to see a hip hop artist. I mean, we like Chris Brown has Dre's. DJ Esco, who's Future's producer and DJ, he has a residency there.
And then all the DJs.
Yeah. So I would love to see an artist, like an old school hip hop artist, have a residency in Vegas. Like,
I feel like
if
it's coming.
LL or something like that could have a
LL,
residency
that
there.
CBS money is a little bit too good.
True, but I'm just saying somebody like that has hits and hits and hits that could go on and like keep you going for a second and keep you excited, you know, enough to draw in. I think that would be a dope idea. Vegas.
And I think once he mentioned the artists that come there, what was
superstars?
What was Cookie gonna say?
True.
And then she's looking at the number and she's like, "No, you really need to look at this." So I just thought it was brilliant. And so, what do you think about now Andre and Lucious? Because
well, Andre's executing his plan. We know that his whole plan is to move Lucious out of the way. We know that Andre has always been on point with the business. We know that he's going to follow through and make sure if I'm presenting something, if I'm trying to cut Lucious up, what I appreciate about Andre is that he does his dirty work both ways. So I'm gonna make sure that it makes sense on paper, as well as having some type of bonus feature that gets me whatever I need for my ego, crazy, maniacal thing. So I love Lucious versus Andre because they're cut from the same cloth.
Me too, and I also like how I think Lucious was more in his feelings because he wasn't the one with the great idea, and he disliked the fact that his oldest son, basically did better than him.
Yeah.
One of the board members says that board members that the public craves stability, and Empire going to Vegas is a great idea. Being that he has to now bail Hakeem out of something and come out of the money, like we don't know. Well, you would think that a company of that magnitude would have money set aside for frivolous lawsuits. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But regardless, being that they're so petty and they only want to put out one album per
quarter or something.
quarter, this is just a great thing. So Lucious, Boo Boo, Kitty, and Cookie. So Lucious is sick in bed, and Boo Boo Kitty tries to pull one over on him by basically saying, if you die, get everything because there's no prenup. Lucious pulls a gun. Was that a smart move or dumb move on Boo Boo Kitty? What was she thinking?
I think that I don't think that she wanted to kill Lucious, and I don't think that she even really, really wanted him to feel. I think she wanted him to understand why he needs her at this moment. The thing that Thirsty brought up about framing Tyreek for her murder was pretty jarring and eye-opening, so she could get it from either way. So she's just trying to find her leverage in this and just make a couple of reminders to Lucious.
So do you think Boo Boo Kitty is stalling with the wire tapping, or do you think she has a valid point in waiting so that she can kind of get to know Tyreek?
She has a valid point. He needs to... He's automatically not going to trust her, even if he wants to trust her, because she's affiliated with Lucious. And we know that there's so much ego there, and, he's not exactly on the up and up why he wants to take Lucious down. So I think that if she moves too fast, it could be costly.
I would agree. So now, what are your thoughts on Boo Boo Kitty asking Cookie to raise Bella if she dies, goes to jail, if anything happens to her?
I think it makes a lot of sense.
Agree.
Because,
she's the only woman, and she's the only woman amongst all these men.
Right. And we know Hakeem ain't ready. We know Lucious don't really have the time, which Andre?
Yeah.
No, Jamal is still finding himself, working his way through therapy. We know Mama Lions is crazy, so it's Cookie.
Agree. Cookie dismisses Boo Boo Kitty when she says we both done things for the man we both love, and then she says to Cookie, we both know the truth.
Yeah, can we talk about the video director and how she tried to take out Cookie's relationship with the teaser video recording Cookie? First of all, I'm so upset at Cookie. Why are you slipping, Cookie? You don't see them with the camera in your face as you were reminiscing on Lucious? You don't feel what your body's going through and know that is showing through to your face?
I thought she saw the camera was there because Cookie, when she rough handled him and she was like, boy, I'm putting my soul on the line for you for this album. So I think she knows this. I think she's aware, but I don't think she realized that it was a dumb idea until those two girls came up to her during the election and wanted her picture.
Right, because I'm just like, poor Angelo.
Yeah.
Do you know he's just out there trying to be the best little mayoral candidate he can be?
So before we get to that, so Cookie, is she in denial or is she still in love with Lucious? I have a theory.
I would like to hear your theory because I don't understand why are you drifting on a memory and having a flashback now when you actually, are you that scared of a good, stable relationship? I don't understand what's going on.
So in my notes, I think that with this album, when Cookie meets Lucious, I think what happened is this is the first time that she's had the opportunity to reflect on her entire life from start to finish. And she's overwhelmed with everything because if you're someone who's always moving on the go, she's been in jail, she's been in her feelings, but then when she got out of jail, she wanted to get a record company. So she hasn't really had the opportunity to really go back and think about from the time she's met Lucious to the time to present. She's been, You know, she's very hard. She has a hard shell, so she's always, you know, on the go, and she hasn't been able to like really reflect. And so she probably did think that this album was a good idea, but now that she has the opportunity to reflect and flash back, some of the things that she's going back about, she's probably never thought about. She's probably never thought about that. And then when, in addition to that,
it was painful for me to watch the scene from their past when she was like, I'll take the package, I'll do it, because it's so small. You love him so much. You want to see him create his genius that you're now going out there and putting yourself on the line. And of course, you're going to run into Barry while you're out there doing that. So I wonder if that is triggering her feelings with Angelo too. How
what I think about that, and which was I thought interesting, was when she was doing the drop, she was dropping it to Shine.
Oh, that was Shine in the car.
That was Shine. I didn't really see his face, but she said, "Hey, Shine," or she's like on the closed captions it said Shine. So Shine. Okay. So Shine goes way back from the very, very beginning, which makes more sense as to why he showed up to Boo Boo Kitty's funeral, to the wedding, pissed because he's been left out and he's been a part of that for all this time.
Okay.
But speaking of Barry, continue with my theory, Lucious is her only boyfriend. She married him. Besides Angelo, she's probably never had another man. Derek Luke doesn't count, only because I think Derek Luke was someone she liked, and she needed that sex out of her system because she's been in jail for 17 years. And Lucious probably, Lucious stopped going to jail at some point, which we saw early on. So that Derek Luke was much needed. But
the pop off,
right? But Angelo is the only man besides Lucious that she really loves,
and has treated her in a way that like a woman.
And also, Angelo is really Barry.
Yes.
When you go to the flashback, how when Barry came up to her, I think also what Cookie is reflecting on is, damn, I chose Lucious in this street life over Barry, this guy who could have been Barack Obama, who could have been a billion, just the whole American dream. And she's reflecting back like, damn. But now she has Angelo, and it's like, well, damn, I can't lose on Barry again, because I don't know if Barry is gonna come back. Barry meaning Angelo.
Right.
So I think her whole mind is twisted.
So she's just mind tripping herself.
Yeah, completely, which is why she keeps going to the flashbacks.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And shout out to Jamal. He really did look like young Lucious, the actor that they have playing young Lucious, when he dressed up for the teaser video. I thought that was kind of cute. I was like, oh, look, they got the little light skin connection for real.
Yeah, I saw that. Okay, so flashback. Okay, so now Cookie and Angelo, the election. All right, so does Angelo have a right to be pissed about Cookie releasing the teaser on the day of the election?
Sort of.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of inappropriate. I know it wasn't technically her fault, and there's nothing that she really could have done about it, and she really didn't know. But
it was a little her fault because she wanted the teaser to be released midnight or something.
Yeah, but she was rushing because Lucious was sick, and she didn't want him to block it because he had already stolen the music and ruined Jamal's connection with Tori. So. It's one of those plausible deniability types of things, because her heart was in the right place, but she just wasn't thinking in totality. But she also didn't know that the video was going to be a literal Cookie loves Lucious thing. It's one thing when you kind of see it played out, but them taking her image and using her words, that brings something else to it.
Do you think that was realistic, how the two girls came up to Cookie and wanted the selfie?
Yeah, I'm sure that happens all the time in the streets. She's a powerful woman. She's fashionable. We're in a social media era. She, rose up from the ashes, and she's the mom of all these, fabulous men that are popular with women. She was married to a rapper. Like, she's the ultimate, ride or die chick. So
yeah, agree. So do you think maybe it's worth it for Angelo to maybe just sit down and talk with Lucious?
Talk with Lucious about what? What's that gonna do?
I'm throwing a question out there.
Lucious
because
is.
I think Angelo,
He's sick of it.
he's sick of it, but the reality is your future wife, fiance, the girl that you're in love with, she is not only is she working and have a record company with her ex-husband, there's the 3 kids. There's this whole entire past. Homie,
A new grandchild.
A new grandchild. There's if you think that this Lucious is just going to all of a sudden be this nice guy, like, you either need to accept and respond accordingly, or you need to let this go.
I feel like Angelo has tried to accept and respond accordingly, but Lucious is a habitual boundary stepper. Shout out to Charlie Murphy, but rest in peace. But he is. I mean, how complete you were just not on your deathbed, but you were definitely under the weather, sick. All of a sudden now you raise up to go show up at Angelo's election party and want to play a song that you wrote for Cookie years earlier and talk about all this stuff. I mean,
that
come on.
song reminded me of Nationwide is on your side.
Like a jingle.
Yeah.
I just was like, what is this? What song was this? Was it hip hop? I'm like kind of lost at whatever it is, but I get it. Go with the flow. I just wanted Lucious to sit down. I thought he was doing too much.
Yeah.
You're overtaking this man's rally. He just won the first primary election.
And then he took credit for him winning.
Yeah, and how he forced him to focus on the issues and other things. It's just like, Lucious.
So do you think that he and Cookie needs to plan or strategize better? They probably should have never had it there in the first place.
I mean, they use Club Empire. What is the name of the
Leviticus.
club? Leviticus.
Yeah.
They use it for everything. Video shoots, streaming events, post parties.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's another club in the city. I'm sure there's a ballroom,
But
something.
It's their club, so I guess,
Yeah, but I mean, Angelo's a mayoral candidate. You don't think anybody else in the city would maybe volunteer their space too, or something like that? That's maybe not owned by a record label.
Did you think Angelo was gonna win or lose?
First up, I wasn't aware that this was just the primary. I thought that we were already at the real thing.
Me too.
So I was kind of shocked to find out, like, oh no, we still have more election to go. But I expected him to advance because that advances the storyline, because it just makes things more complicated.
Agree. The funniest thing about that scene is when you saw Lucious playing on the piano, and then you saw that tiny little ponytail in the back.
Lucious won't let it go. He won't let it go, whether it's DuckTales, Shag, some type of extracurricular activity going on in the back of his hair. Please stop. Come on, Terrence.
I'm sorry. Going back to the music video and this whole when Cookie met Lucious, I hated the song.
Yeah, it wasn't that great.
It reminded me of a song from Breaking to Electric Boogaloo.
It did kind of sound like one of those soundtracks.
It was a song that didn't make the cut of Electric to Boogaloo. Breaking 2.
Well, and you picked the worst Breaking. Not Breaking the decent street one. You picked the one with the neon, colorful costumes.
And why do you think I picked that one?
Because it was cheesy as hell and just wrong.
Yeah, it was, and he was singing in his upper register again. So I was like, oh Lord. And I thought Estelle was a terrible choice.
And I'm going to take it a step further. Why was Estelle dressed like an 80s Madonna pop star thing and not like a 90s B-girl? Because if I'm understanding correctly,
because Cookie had the mushroom,
right? She had the asymmetrical cut and whatever, and Estelle had like the feather bob. The whole girls just want to have fun thing.
The Madonna thing.
Yeah, it was a little wrong for me, but
agree. And then Lucious and Juliana. So Juliana makes her entrance, and Lucious, after he just finished on the microphone, he says, "I should just kill you right here."
Right. I mean, we know Juliana's obviously shady. We know she's a little sex fiend, and we know that she's shisty. So no telling what type of tricks and trickery she got involved with, and what little slickness she may have, gotten Lucious wrapped up in. Maybe we'll find out in 2 weeks. Yeah. Not next week. In 2 weeks, maybe we'll discover.
And then the very final topic, Jamal D. Major. I'm over this. We've talked a lot about this.
Oh, okay. Well, wait. Can we just say one thing that I wasn't ready for?
Yeah.
Jamal said Philip left him because it's too much drama. So Philip's just gone, or do we think that Philip's gonna resurface?
He's coming back.
He's gonna come back around.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'll look up on my IMDb Pro, but I'm pretty sure that's not the end of Philip.
Okay, because I was like, wow, that would just. Oh, too much drama. I mean, but I can't blame Philip because that's a lot.
Yeah, he did leave out the elevator. He was like, y'all, you need to take care of this.
D Major's doing a lot though.
I hate this new D Major's character.
Since he came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's very emotional and just very, okay, now we can be together and it's just gonna be sunshine.
And
it's like no confliction at all.
And then Philip is jealous of us.
Yeah. D Major.
The only thing in my notes is, Jamal, is it too late to set things straight between the two of you? Like, should he have set boundaries a long time ago?
He probably should have, but I don't understand why D Major. I mean, I get it. You gave up a lot or whatever, but why don't you fall back and see if Jamal comes to you? Because you keep trying to push the issue and he keeps rebuffing you and you're making yourself look silly. Mm-hmm. And then you're going to start to get bitter because you did come out because of him. And if he doesn't come back to you, I don't know what that's going to do to your psyche.
The best thing that he can do is find someone else and then throw it in Jamal's face.
Maybe you think Jamal doesn't seem the jealous type though.
Well, let's see. He doesn't have Michael. Philip is gone. And if he produces for somebody that's and the music is hot, and then he get like there's ways that you can that you
dig
can
into Jamal,
that you can dig into him without letting him know. But you know, like I said before, I think they all gonna get together and just do something together. So.
Something major. Okay, we're still hoping for that.
Yeah. Do you have any? Do we have any news and gossip?
Other than. This isn't, really a big thing. I know you guys might have heard last week that the actor that plays Tyreek was actually arrested in Chicago for an accusation of domestic violence. We're going to see what happens. It was involving his 24-year-old girlfriend. He's 42.
Morocco. His real name
Yes, Morocco, yes. So I don't know if that will have it. Obviously, they've wrapped up filming shows, but I don't know if that will have an impact on anything going forward. Mm-hmm. But that happened last week. And also Terrence Howard and Nia Long have been cast in a film. I'm blanking on that. I think it's 1 year later. Don't quote me on that. With Jaden Smith portraying their son. He cut his dreads for the role, so be on the lookout for that.
Okay, well, congrats to them for that film. And Jaden is back in acting. I always liked him when he was acting as a kid. As a matter of fact, he was in The Karate Kid when Taraji played his mom. Right.
Yeah. So all types of little connection points. So Terrence and Nia got the opportunity to get reconnected, and they'll move on to doing this other film.
Okay, cool. Now let's go into predictions.
And now your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
I'm kind of low this week. Mm-hmm. I mean. They've thrown me a couple of curveballs. I predict that we're going to find out quickly about Lucious and Juliana's history and what her main objective is, or at least what the objective is maybe of the guy in Vegas. The Gio, is it?
Gio, yeah.
Yeah. What his obsession with Lucious.
I think that because from the previews, it seems as if Lucious and Juliana are kind of buddy-buddy. But it didn't seem that way in last night's episode. So I wonder, will he pretend to like Juliana so that he can take her down? Or will he not? And then maybe Cookie, Andre, and Boo Boo Kitty have to come together. But however this is going to end, I think it's going to be a good wrap for the season. But I'm like you, I don't really have any predictions. I'm just excited. I think I'm really enjoying the season, so I don't really have any predictions.
It's actually, I'm enjoying this season more than I did last season, actually. So, good things, good exciting happen. Eva Longoria, I think she will make her appearance maybe later.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And do you think it will be Vegas affiliated, or do you think it's...
No, it has to be because she's the gaming commissioner that has to approve this
the
whatever.
license.
Yeah, the
Okay.
license. So I don't know exactly how she's gonna play him, but that's her role. So.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. So let everyone know where you could be found on social media.
I'm Jill Munroe. You can find me everywhere at Stiletto Jill, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter. Hit me up.
And you can find me on all social media at Bamm Ericsen. Thank you so much for tuning in to our after show for Empire Season 3, Episode 13. Again, I'm your host, Bamm Ericsen, and we will see you guys in 2 weeks. Thank you guys for watching and listening.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.